start. I see it was just Lauren and I hanging out in here for a little while. So welcome everyone else to our Zoom world. Who knows what we're talking about today?
I do.
Gary, you do. What are we talking about today, Gary?
You're talking about Slack, something I hated and now I love it.
Yeah, I want you to.
I kind of love it. Sometimes I hate it, but it's good.
I want you to, can you just share a little bit about that? Because I know that's something that you tell a lot of our recruits or a lot of people who are joining are thinking about joining.
Yeah, even when I'm doing the discovery session, I talk about like asking if they know Slack. And I just will say that it's something that I didn't like at first because all the notifications until I kind of understood it a little bit better. But I always refer newer agents and people I'm mentoring, when they have a question, sometimes I don't know the answer. Well, a lot of times I won't know the answer. I'll do a search in Slack and I'll find it. And, it's just like Google, sometimes you have to kind of pick the correct answer, but there'll be videos in there, all kinds of good stuff. Yeah. It's great. That's why I'm on here too, because I don't fully know all its capabilities and stuff, but it's nice. I like it.
Well, thank you for sharing, Gary. And a lot of you might be in the same position. I'm sure I don't even want to think about how many agents have like a million Slack notifications and there's like every channel is bold because they're not going into there and reading it. And I get it. It could be intimidating, but that's why we wanted to do a training for you guys because I said something to Serri one time, and don't take this personally if you're not a big Slack person, but I said, if an agent on our team isn't using Slack, they might as well not be on the team because that's where we have all of our updates. That's where we do a lot of collaboration. We have a lot of training and resources there for you guys. So if you are not tapping into this huge system and resource that we have, that's a problem. And we want you to feel empowered and confident in how to use that system because it's going to be super helpful for you to stay plugged into the team. There's training resources in there, coaching. It's a great central place for communication. So Serri is the Slack master and Liv is going to help her out too. We've got a good training set up for you guys today. So let's go for it.
Let's do it. Can you hear me? Yes. Okay. All right. Somebody speak.
I'm over here like choking on my own fit. I'm like this is not the time.
Here's your Slack masters right now. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, thank you, Ash. I always love your introduction. So here's the thing. So like Ashley said, if you're not on Slack and you're not understanding it and you're not living in there, again, I understand you're real estate agents. Your goal is to go sell homes. However, you're on a team that uses this at such a high level that if you don't know what's going on in there, if you're not keeping up with it, or likewise, if we don't see you in Slack, we're going to think that you're not actually integrating yourself and understanding and learning what's going on with the team and all that stuff that happens because we put everything on Slack, right? So if you're not keeping up with Slack, and trust me, I know there's a lot there, but there's plenty of time for you to go in and see everything that goes on in Slack. Because if I can keep up on it, you can keep up on it too. There's really no excuses, right? To me, it means that you're not really fully engaged with the team. You maybe need some help, and this is what we're here for, to help you with how to navigate that. Or you're maybe just that busy, right? Maybe you're that agent that you're closing 10 deals a month and you're that busy that you can't keep up on it. So for whatever reason it is, we're here to help you guys understand Slack at a higher level. And after this, I can't wait to see all you guys in there more collaborating because we don't see each other very often, right? Like we have our one big team meeting and typically people will show up, but we don't see each other. So Slack is where we live. That's where we live. Would you all agree? Yes.
Yes.
All right. Yes. Let's get this going, Liv. Are you ready?
Right. Yes.
Okay. And you guys feel free to drop any questions that you have in the chat, or just you can raise your hand and use the little reactions at the bottom, or you could just start speaking. Totally fine. Let's make this collaborative too if you guys want to, however you want to. All right. What do we got here?
All right. So basic overview of Slack. I think most of you guys, if you are on our team, already have downloaded it. But it's a communication tool. It's what we've implemented sort of in place of email for a lot of our communication. And we found it's a tool that helps us collaborate and communicate a lot more effectively. And we're going to kind of jump into why. Do you want me to take this one, dear?
I do.
Okay, I'll keep going.
Keep going.
I think I'm done like dying over here. Okay, so some of the advantages of Slack. So one of the first things, transparency, all content in Slack is searchable. This is Gary's favorite thing. So especially if you're a newer agent on the team, and you have a question about something, you can go up to the top of Slack, and we do want this to be interactive. So occasionally we're going to jump in and out of screens here. But you can go into Slack and search different topics. And a lot of times questions have already been answered. And so you guys can find the information there. There's also a lot of flexibility. We share a lot of files. You can do calls. You can do Slack huddles on there, and all of that information gets saved in there. Collaboration, that's definitely been our biggest, I'd say our biggest advantage that we've gotten out of Slack, is just being able to share and communicate with everybody. As you guys see, we have an agent who has a question, it goes into a Slack channel, and there's 20 other people that can answer it. Or, hey, I actually just went through this, give me a call. Or something exciting happens and a deal gets accepted and everybody jumps in and, shares the reactions and things like that. Security, who's in Slack, they have to be invited into our Slack. So there's a security element there. Integrations, this is a huge one. Slack integrates into thousands of different apps. And we'll kind of jump into some of the integrations that we use. And it also has a lot of different automations, which again, if you are on our team, you've seen some of the messages that pop out if you're grabbing a lead, or even automated responses to common questions that we get a lot. So we'll kind of jump into all these topics. So first things first, the best practices while using Slack. So just kind of a general overview of Slack. There are different channels. It's the little hashtag sign, and those allow us to organize everything by different topics. So for our team, we have a lot of different channels, but it really helps organize that information. So again, if you're like, wait, I need to know what time our event, this week is happening, you can go directly to the events channel and you can find all the information about events coming up. If there's a marketing piece that you're wondering where to find, you can always jump in the marketing team channel. So it really helps kind of prioritize and organize that information. Sarah, do you have anything to add on to this particular?
I guess the thing is I think we've kind of gone through like more Slack channels. Oh my gosh, not another Slack channel. And actually the more channels that we have and the more specific for each channel, actually the better. Because how many times have you guys been like, oh, I saw this somewhere. Where was it? And I can't remember where it was, right? Like we have TBRL, like where is that within that one? So actually, the whole thing about Slack is it's about organizing based on, what it is that you're specifically talking about. So in this case, more is better because it's more specific. Would you guys agree that more is better in this case? Yeah. So I just want you to know when we add, like yesterday, I just added one that said sales training. It's because we actually don't have something that is specific to that. And we want to make sure that now we are dropping that specific in there. So that's the cool part about Slack.
Mm-hmm. And then of course there are like the direct messages, which wouldn't fall under a channel. That would fall under your DM section. And that would just be like, if I message Serri something, she and I would have an individual conversation. So if you see the little lock here, that means that it's a private channel and you have to be invited into it. And then just the general hashtag means that it's kind of open it's a searchable channel basically to anybody. All right, so this slide's a little bit overwhelming, but it is an important area to cover. As Ashley was kind of talking about in the beginning, Slack notifications are pretty rampant, especially in our team. We've got 91 people in our Slack channel, and not everything is relative or, important for everybody to know about all the time. So there are ways that you can adjust your notifications, and you can change it to, like, if you want to know about every single message that comes in, you can select that. If you just want to see notifications that mention you specifically or mention app channel, which means it messages every single person in that channel, you can adjust that here, or you can do notifications, nothing, and that should not be an option that anybody has. Because again, this is really like our central hub for our team. Like, this is how we get information out to everybody. And like on the ops side of things, one of the most common things that we hear is, oh, I had no idea that happened. And it's like, well, did you check Slack? Because a lot of that information goes out through there. So that's why it's important to keep up on it, because there are a lot of different things that, a lot of information that gets pushed out that we don't want you guys to miss. So if you're staying on top of it, then you can kind of stay in the know. You can also mute different specific channels. So for example, like, I'm on most of the channels that we have on our team, but I don't need the notifications for them. So what I do is I'll mute it, and then it will just kind of gray out. So I can jump into that channel if I need to for any reason. But all of those notifications are turned off. And then this, I think I went over this. So the reminders, this is one of my favorite tools that I use in Slack. I get a lot of agents that will message me asking me a question, or they need a file or something. If I'm in a meeting where I can't get to it right then, you can just, what I do is I hit the 3 little dots up here, and then I'll say, remind me about this. And, you can pick your timeline. Like if it's a Friday at 5:30, you can say, remind me next week, Monday, 8 a.m. And then you'll get a notification from Slack, and it will say, reminder, you have to do this. And then you have to check it off as complete, or else it kind of stays there as a task.
And we're gonna also, I know these are just like slides, but just so you guys know, we're gonna go in and jump in live and show you some stuff too.
Yeah,
So you can
I'm
visually see what
happy
we're doing.
to jump in there right now, actually, just so it's a little bit more interactive. Does anybody have any questions about some of that stuff so far?
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
I love the reminder option too. Do you know if we can do that on the cell phone too? Because I feel like I've been away and like trying to find how to remind me, but I feel like on the cell, I couldn't find it unless it's just me.
There should, you mean like the cell phone notifications?
Yeah, like
are
if I'm not
different?
on, or no, like if I get a notification, I want to set a reminder to remind myself.
So Lauren, there is. So what you
Okay.
do, I mean, obviously what we're showing you guys today, and that's good that you brought that up, Lauren, because a lot of times people aren't just sitting on their computer. But if you get this on mobile, then what you'll do is you'll hold down on the message. So if everybody has their phone right now and they want to pull that out, just grab something in there, hold down on it, and you'll see stuff pop up, and it'll say set a reminder, say for, speak message, mark in red, set a reminder, say for later, reply in thread. Do you see all that? Do you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can do that now. Awesome.
Yep. So that's how you get to, on mobile, all of these little tricks that we're going to show you on here is you just literally hold down and stuff pops up.
Sweet. That's helpful. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. That was a good question.
So I'm going to pull up the marketing channel as an example. So at the top here, you can click on the down arrow and you'll see up here with the little bell, that's for notifications and mentions. So again, for each channel, you have the ability to adjust, do you want to get every single message in this channel only when, June or I mentioned the whole channel, or if you don't want to get any notifications, which would hurt my feelings. So don't do that. Or you can mute the channel. So if you mute the channel again, what happens is it goes like kind of gray down here. But I can always jump into it if I need to for some reason and look at, what's going on.
Well, the other thing too, Liv, go down, it still shows like the numbers over there. So you'll know that there's activity going on over there. If you want to go in and take a look at it, you'll still get those little numbers that show up.
Yeah. Yep. And then you can also go up here. And I know my Slack looks a little different because it's pink. But on the top left, you can
change colors. We won't go down a rabbit hole.
Yes, we won't go. We can't go into that, but you can change the colors of your Slack to match your style. So preferences. This is where you go to adjust your notifications, and this is just kind of like a general notification. So for me, I have direct messages, mentions, and you can set keywords as well. So if you have that selected, then you can go down here. And if someone says something like, for me, I'll use myself as an example. If someone mentions Canva or business cards, you can add specific words in here that will automatically send you a notification. So that way there's certain topics that okay, I'm going to need to jump in here. And then it will set it for you. Then you can adjust your notification sounds and everything up here. So you can also make it jump like a bounce thing. So if you're on your desktop, the little notification will jump up and down. So there's a lot of different ways that you can customize the notifications. But I do think this is an important part of Slack and managing it, because people get so overwhelmed by it that what happens is they don't use it at all. They're like, there's just too much going on, so I'm just not going to check it. It's like Slack fatigue. So that's why it's important to know how to manage these notifications and settings.
So just for fun, out of curiosity, because this is a little fun thing, right? So you guys drop a 1 in the chat if you have Slack fatigue. It's okay. It's okay if you do. Just drop a 1 in there. If not, then we're going to keep pushing out notifications and messages. There's Jennifer. She took the first hit there. Wendy.
Yeah.
Oh, Jody, the fatigue is happening. I get it.
And this is good to know. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd be
Go ahead, Liv. I'm just curious who's like kind of geeks out on Slack and loves it and is just like, can't wait for the next message to come in, besides me.
You can do it too for that.
I actually love it.
Me.
Because I'm new and everything, it's the fire hose, drinking from the fire hose. It's just trying to absorb everything that's available and go, oh, that's available. Oh, there's something I want to see. It's just, that's the overwhelming part. I think over time this will mellow out, but I do love the program itself.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Yeah. Good feedback on that. Yeah. Okay. So I think to be able to get, Joel, seems like it could be a rabbit hole. Definitely. Here's what I would recommend is make sure that, what Liv just went over as far as the notifications and getting control on your channels and what to be notified on. you really have to stop. So again, remember, you can be on all these meetings, you can be watching all this stuff. It's really only as good as what you take after this meeting and you go and you implement. So I always want to make sure I'm emphasizing that. It really does nothing if you're just sitting here going, okay, great, right? So whatever you can grab and implement after this meeting to make sure that you're getting control of your channels. You might have to sit down for 30 minutes, an hour, or something like that this weekend, who knows when, and say, I've got to get control over this. The other thing is you can check Slack in sprints too. Like you could time block stuff out and say, hey, you know what? In the morning, I'm going to go through it because this is what I do in the morning. I literally have on my calendar to say check Slack. And then later in the evening, I'll say, hey, check Slack. Now, of course, there's going to be things that might come in throughout the day where you're just kind of briefly looking at it. Or if you're in ABC channels, maybe you want to make sure that those ones have notifications going all the time. And we're going to show you some extra tips on how to organize that so you don't have to fish through everything. But make sure that you're spending some time to get these notifications set and to set some time in your day. This is part of your profession at this point. This is part of you being on the team, and this is part of you keeping up on it, right? So if you're a solo agent and you're not on the team, then obviously you're not going to have this stuff. But welcome to being on a team where, again, we're not seeing each other all the time. This is our team. This is our team. So get that in your head that this is our team. This is who we are. So Liv, I don't know what you have next, but I do want to show a couple of just kind of tips on how you guys can, just manage some of that live. Did you have anything else that you specifically had too?
Yeah, there's a couple of other things, but go ahead, and if you've got some stuff you want to bring up, go for it.
No, keep going. And then what we'll do is we'll kind of end and I'll bounce on some of mine too. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so I'll just jump back in here quickly. Okay, so one of the other advantages is flexibility. So as you saw in the marketing channel that I was showing earlier, we have file sharing. So this is a big thing that we do in the marketing channel specifically, but there's a lot of other documents that get shared throughout different channels. And this is always something I want people to know. You can download those files directly to your phone or to your computer. So for example, June posted a social media post in here. And what you would do is you would hover over the photo, and then you're going to see a little cloud pop up, and it has a down arrow. And that's going to download that file directly to your phone. So if there are any documents or if there's a social media post that you want to share out and you're trying to take a screenshot of it, you can download it directly to your phone, and then you can share it out however you want to. So I think that's a really important one, because I think there's a lot of people who might see some of this content coming in, but they don't know what to do with it. So you can save it to your phone. And again, I can kind of do a live share of that too. Sorry. All right. So again, if you're going into the marketing channel, for example, and you want to download these, you can just hover over it and click download, download, download. And then the same thing goes. So we post a caption in here, for example, these are posted separately. So that way you guys can literally, a lot of people will do this on their mobile. You can hold your finger down on this and it will say copy text, and that will copy everything in this message. And then all you have to do is paste it into your phone.
So one of the questions, yeah, go ahead. Does it download as picture as different type of file?
So it will download as the same type of file that it's uploaded as. So if this is a PNG, for example, it will download as a PNG. If there's a PDF that's shared, it will download as a PDF. So that's a good question. Change the color. So that's something I'll just quickly, you can go up to here into your preferences. And then I think, under themes on the left, you can change the colors here. So if you guys ever want to have fun with that, there's a lot of different. I did bright and cheerful, sweet treat. and then I customized it. So if you guys ever want to change that, you can do that there.
I just want to master the basics, and then I'll get into colors.
And then you'll get into color. Yeah,
Yes.
that totally understandable. Is there a way to download all the photos together? Great question. So oops. Oh geez, I'm about to start a huddle. I thought that there used to be a way to download all these at once. But I think you do, unfortunately, just have to click on these and download it.
Can you press Control and click on one and then another, and will it highlight them or no?
No, I don't. Yeah, I think you just have to download them each one by one. That would be nice if it allowed you to just download them all. But I haven't seen that as a feature. I think I'm thinking of Gmail, where you can download all of the files at once. So not sure why that's not something that's available, but that's a good question. Okay, and then the next topic that I have on my slides is the integrations, so the different apps that we have. So Serri, we can jump into that, or I don't know if you want to, we'll just keep rolling with that.
Yeah, just keep rolling.
Okay, so one of the coolest things about Slack is all of the different applications that it integrates with. So for example, we have Google Calendar. I'm not sure if everybody has their Google Calendar synced up to Slack, but you should definitely look into it if you haven't. And what's so nice is I can literally go to my calendar today. These are already the things that have happened. And then I can go in here and see what I have. And it will have like the Zoom link in here. I can just click directly from here and jump onto the meeting. I can create an event. I can schedule something in here and invite different people, decide where I want to share it. There's all these different, just kind of like you would do in Google, but you can do it in Slack, and it of course integrates. So any questions about that? Does anybody have their Slack and Google Calendar integrated? If you do, drop a 1 in the chat. And if you're not sure how to do that, but you would like to, drop a 2. Cool. 2.
2, lots of 2s coming in.
Mm-hmm.
Do you all see the apps at the bottom? Especially those on the team. Do you see these apps down there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah, at the bottom of your Slack channel, you should, there should be a little app section here, and you can go to manage, and then it will open up browse apps. And so then you can search here. So there's Google Calendar. We use Monday for project management. That's another integration that's been super helpful. We have Google Drive, Zapier, Simple Poll. Serri likes to use these a lot. So there's a ton of different integrations, as you can see. Zoom, all sorts of different stuff. Calendly. And this is just kind of like the tip of the iceberg. These are just as like what we have downloaded for our company. I'm not sure, depending on what your permissions are, if you're able to add other apps. I think they have to be approved by admin, but you can go to the directory, which of course it's going into another screen. But this is super cool because, again, like for Monday notifications, if I'm getting added to something, like Serri or Keely, for example, mentioned me in this task in Monday. So what I can do is I can like it from here. I can view it in Monday. And there's all these different things. If somebody wants to request access to a file, I have Canva synced up in here. So I can open it and accept it. That way I'm kind of staying on top of all this stuff. So again, that's under apps here. And then you can go to manage and browse apps. And then you should be able to connect your Google Calendar here. Any questions on that? No. Okay.
Cool.
All right. So yeah, I had Google Calendar, and then collaboration. Just again, we kind of touched on this. This is kind of where the heartbeat of our company is. For example, I work in LA now, and I still feel so connected. And I would say 90% of that is because of Slack. We do Slack huddles. The leadership team does Slack huddles every single morning, which is another thing that you can, do up here. You can start a Slack huddle. So I don't know if you guys have ever done one of those before. That's basically just like a phone call. You can also do video Slack huddles, which is really cool. So if you have a question with somebody like, hey, can you just jump in a huddle really quick? It'd be easy. Like, you don't even have to call them. You can just start a huddle with them right there. I know Steve does this with his P's a lot, with his mentor group. So there's a lot of cool things that you can do. And also, just since I'm in here, you can also, when you go into the channel, you can see the different files that have been shared, and you can show more, and then you can search through some of this stuff, and you can search from a specific person as well. But I would say this is a great example. I don't want to have people's names on here, but we have different events. It's just really fun. All the different emojis. I don't know about if there's people from other teams on here, but there's a place called slackmoji.com, and you can add a bunch of different emojis on here. And I would say these just add a lot of character, because, messaging can feel a little bit dry, but we've got a bunch of these different emojis and fun things like that. And of course, people share, I don't know if it's called a GIF or a GIF, but yeah, I love them too. So it's just kind of fun. And it's also a great way to, like Serri said, to acknowledge that you are on Slack. Like, I've seen this message. That to us is really important, that we know that you guys are involved, that you guys are getting the information that we're putting out to you guys. So if we ever say, like, let us know if you're coming, drop a thumbs up, you can just hit this little smiley face right here, and it says add a reaction with a little plus, and you can click on that, and then you can select a different emoji. And while I'm here, I'm going to talk about a really important thing, which is threads. This is something that we've gone over in our team meeting. And this is also to help reduce some of that Slack fatigue that we were talking about. So if Serri right here, she just dropped information about an event that's going on this Thursday. So, you can just react, give a, drop an emoji there if you want. Or like Felisa did a great job here, because she responded directly in the thread, and I can say something like this, and it will notify Serri, but it's not going to notify the events channel that there was a new message. If I go in here and say this, now everybody in the channel is going to get a notification about this message. So obviously it's kind of fun to have everybody jumping in there, but this is one of our solutions to reducing some of those notifications. Any questions about that? Serri, do you want to jump in?
Yeah, no, I just, do you want me to kind of take over, Liv, a little bit and show some
Yeah,
more?
go for it.
Okay.
Yep.
Here's the thing. We have people at all levels here, right? Some of you are like totally new to Slack. Some of you are like, yeah, I've already got that. But what I do want to do is just kind of go back through some of the basics, and just make sure that you guys understand some of the basics, because I think that will help you to not be so overwhelmed with Slack, and to use it at a higher level. So I'm going to show mine. Mine's not as pretty as Liv, and maybe I'll change it to pink when I'm done. But so I'm in my Slack here, and one of the things that I have found to be super helpful is so I'm just going to stay in this channel here. This little button up here, the star channel. So if you have a channel that you specifically like, how many of you guys are like, oh my gosh, like I'm trying to filter through here and find this particular channel? You can go up here and you can push this star channel. So if I want to star this one, it's now moved into my starred section. So these are the ones that I watch closely during the day, or I just kind of want to make sure I know where it's at. You can have these in here. So for some of you agents, maybe the ABC channels or something like that that you're on, I always keep TBR Team All in there because that's, you know, kind of the catch-all for everything, and then other things that are going on here. But that's been really helpful to be able to organize where to find things. The other thing, and I think Liv kind of touched on this, is to make sure that you go in and you set your notifications. So you can go up here and you can set your notifications for each channel. And so I have different channels down here too that are muted, right? Like I don't need to see all these different lead channels that are popping off, but they still have the number. So sometimes I'll go in there and I'll just kind of check that out. The other thing is, and again, this is kind of, for some of you, I'm sure this is like, okay, I already know this, but like I said, I'm going to go through some of this with you guys. To be able to talk to someone else. So let's say Rachel's in here. So Rachel wanted to talk to George specifically, you know, then you would just you would do @ and then the names come up, right? And then that notifies them that you're talking to them. So the @ channel there is super important. The other thing that they just updated is you used to be able to go over here and click on this and find, like, Lauren, this is for you. Like, I don't know if you realize this or not, but like the Giphy Queen, or however you say it too. I went in here recently, I'm like, where did it go? I can't find any of the shortcuts. They literally just released an option. So it's the shortcuts are over here. So you can go into the shortcuts and find them here now. So if you want to like do a Giphy, you know, and do something like that, you can find it over here in these shortcuts channels. Another thing that I use a lot, so I may be talking to somebody, and we kind of touched on this earlier, but I'm going to show you just kind of live. So let's say, okay, so this is an example. Liv posted this TikTok. I haven't watched it yet, right? But here's the issue. If I click on this and then I click out, this isn't highlighted anymore. And I'm like, oh gosh, like where was that? I wanted to watch that, whatever, right? So what I'll do is I'll go over here and I'll click on these buttons and I'll mark it as in red. And so now it highlights that back there. That's one option. Another option is you could go over and say, remind me about this in whatever amount of time. So you have a couple of options here in order to like remind yourself about something that you want to make sure you go back. How many of you guys have been on where you're like, oh, now I can't find it because I clicked on it? Like, is that a thing for everybody? Do you guys have that issue? I know it happens. And then you're like, now it's gone forever. What do I do? Let's see. All the time. Yeah. So there you go. So make sure you guys are controlling. Again, you have to kind of like control the Slack and know that stuff, but you have to manage your Slack, and that's a good tip for you. Here's another thing, and I've been directed. Do you know where I'm going with this, Liv? I've been directed over the weekend because I get like really like creatively bored over the weekend, and so I just want to work on ideas. But like, there's a way where you can click over here. So you can send the message now, or you can click this button here and you can schedule it for later. So, you know, I don't know how many of you all will be doing that, but maybe there's something that you're like, hey, I'm a night owl. I'm up at 2 in the morning. I don't want to be, you know, sending this now. I want to have it go out at a certain time. You can type that and you can go over here and you can schedule it for whatever time you want on that too. Let's see, what else?
Can you do that again? I couldn't see exactly where you pop that window up.
Yeah, so can you see my screen okay? It's down.
Not at the very bottom, we can't, or I can't.
No?
I know what
Okay,
you're
let's
talking
see.
about, but
Is it
yeah.
So
So,
where that green boxes with the arrow?
yeah.
Can you guys
So-
see it now?
Yes. Okay,
Okay.
there we go.
Yeah, so right here, so this is if you were to just send it, and that would be now. And then this one is if you want to schedule it for whatever time, and you can do a custom time or whatever that
I
is.
love that.
You can schedule your messages. Yeah. Yeah. And then I think Liv kind of touched on, you know, like the emojis here. You can bring these up. These ones are the special. If you click on this over here, these are like all the special ones that we've added. And for those of you that maybe aren't on the team when you're running teams, and again, it's Slack emoji, and we slightly obsess over these. But you just go over here, and then you go to Slack emoji, you download them, and then you can upload them in here, and you can save a bunch of different fun ones there. Yeah. Let's see. The other, you know, Liv touched on is search. I can't emphasize how important this search bar is for you to be able to just search anything and everything that you need. So messages, files, like you name it, you can find it by using the search bar. This is such a huge library of stuff. We actually, by the way, pay for Slack. So Slack can be free. So if you're watching this and you're, you know, a smaller team or an individual or whatever, you can actually get Slack for free. And we did that for a while until we realized how big we were getting. The free version only saves things for so many messages. I can't remember what it is now. But we have upgraded everybody on our team, and we pay for each of you guys to have a seat monthly so that we can always keep all of our data going on. So the search is like super key for everybody to be able to use that. The other thing is I want to show you guys from within the channels. Let me find one that has a little bit more kind of to it. Here, let's go into Reel. So from within the channels, we have these sections up here at the top. And again, this is on a desktop view. So make sure you guys play around on your phones, and you'll find this stuff on your phones as well. I'm going to go in right now. So basically on your phones, if you hit that top button, let's just say the Real Brokerage, if you hit that bold top button, you'll get another screen that pops up, and you'll see all these things that I'm talking about here. So like pinned messages, if you scroll down, you'll be able to see that. As far as, you know, apps and different things that are saved to the channel. So that's how you do it on your phone. So make sure you guys understand too how to use the desktop view, and then how to pull this stuff up on a phone, because it's all there. It's just a little bit different on how you push the button. But the pinned messages are things that, you know, we have posted on here, and then we end up pinning them. And the way to pin that is, I think you guys can do it. I'm not really sure, but for those that have the ability, you just click on these little dots over here, and then you pin it. So if we want to pin that to the channel, that's how we pin it. If we want to unpin it, we unpin it. But all that stuff is saved up here, and these are important links, right? So here's information on our brokerage and all that stuff. The other thing is up here, there's different folders of things that we save. So within each channel, it's really important to look for, you can easily just click, you can't see it because it goes to another page, but you can just go in, and these are like shortcuts to different things within each channel.
Like
That'll help you
different
guys.
forms and stuff like that. We have a lot of forms and stuff that we use on our team. And so if you're ever like, where's that form, that listing form? Usually you can go into the listing channel and find whatever forms you need there.
Yeah. Yeah. Another thing, and Liv, I've seen you do this, like when you're out of town or whatnot. If you guys go up to your name at the top corner, which is your profile, and you click on it, you can update your status. So what is your status? Like I've seen, Liv, like when you're out of town, you go in and you change your status, which I think is kind of fun. Again, these are just kind of higher level, having fun with it. Get the nuts and bolts down. Don't worry too much. However, one of the things in here is, you know, set yourself as away. So that means that you're not going to have all these notifications kind of hitting at you. because you've set yourself as away, right? So now I'm going to put myself back active. But that's how you can get control over some of that stuff, so that, if you're on vacation, you want to kind of turn it off for a little bit or whatnot, that you can do that. And it also, I think, Liv, it shows, like, it'll show next to your name for people. It'll show like out of office.
Yeah. Like if you scroll down to my name right now, since I have my Google Calendar integrated, oh wait, of course it's not there.
Or did you send me a message? Oh, like here?
No, it should usually have a thing at the, okay, well, usually, when I'm in a meeting on Slack, or, okay, hold on, there it is.
There it is,
Oh.
right there.
It'll show
Yeah.
up next to that. So, that's also helpful to let other people know if they're trying to get a hold of you, like, oh, I'm out showing right now, or I'm in a meeting.
Yeah.
Let people see what's going on.
Look at there. T just put hers available every day. Right? So you can set your statuses in there.
Mhm.
Yeah. Let's see, what else can we show you guys? Are there any like struggles that you guys have that you're like, hey, I'm having a hard time with Slack and I need some help trying to control what? Like, where are you guys seeing the big pain points that we can maybe collectively give some ideas?
For me,
Yeah.
sometimes I just don't think I'm doing it right. I want to share a message like to somebody else specifically. I know I've done it like when we had the mentor huddle, it's onboarding plus now, but like I'll find something and I want to share it to somebody else. And I don't know, maybe I'm not, it's probably really easy. I don't feel like I'm doing it right for some reason.
Yeah. Okay. So let's just say, right, let's just say you wanted to share this, Gary, right, about this event.
So I've been doing that forward message, I think.
Forward message. Yeah. And you wanted to send it to like another channel or a person?
Or send it to me now as a test, send it to me.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Maybe it's it doesn't carry over the pictures or something. I think there's something weird happens when I try to do that. Like if I'm sending over like a link and it also has the pictures with it. I think
yeah, I'm not really sure. But you can click on this to see the original message.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
What were you thinking, Liv?
No, that's it. I was going to say, if you click view message, it will bring you back and you can see all the preview images. And you can also, this is kind of a random note, but you can click the X next to Serri. If you hover over Eventbrite, you can click the X.
Mm-hmm. You can remove that. Yeah.
And then that way it kind of shrinks your chat down. So if there's a lot of photos, for example, I'm sorry, I keep using my channel as an example, but marketing, there's a ton of files that are shared in there. You can collapse the view. So it can,
if you want to bring it up, you can. Yeah. Whatever you want to do.
So that way it's, easier to find some of the information in there. So for example, like here's a ton of photos. You can, once you've downloaded it, you can click that and it will shrink it up. If you're like, okay, I've already downloaded this, I'm going to shrink it up. And that way you can go through and just, it just makes the view a lot denser and easier to find.
What other like pain points do you guys have that we can help you all with? What can we do to help make you more productive with Slack? Wendy, hi.
I guess my biggest frustration is I feel like a cat sometimes pouncing on my phone when Slack chimes that there's a new lead. And I'm telling you, within 2 seconds, it's gone. And that happens like many, many, many times, to the point where I was like, ugh, well, you hear the chime and you want to be Pavlov's dog and run to the food bowl. But it's just, I know that there are a lot of people that are just maybe have better reflexes than me, but 2 seconds.
I don't know does anybody want to share their secrets? I've seen, I don't know if they're on, but I've seen Andrew, Steve. I think I've seen some fast fingers on here. Do you guys have any? This team has fast fingers. That's right.
Yeah. I feel like
Does
it's-
anybody? Yeah.
you're active already. If you have Slack open, I feel like you're just, especially on your desktop, you're more likely to just click over and claim the lead. But I don't think you're
I
alone,
think
Wendy. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people
Make-
share that frustration.
Okay.
Make sure you have your sound on for Slack, on your phone. Make sure that that's
Oh.
one where you can actually hear it. I think make sure, if you haven't starred the channels, I think that's helpful. I think sometimes, again, they get kind of lost in the shuffle. And so if you can star a channel and have it at the top, it's like those are the channels that I specifically want to make sure I'm focusing on. That's helpful. Does anybody else have any other tips and tricks or things
Yeah,
that they?
I would say something that works really well is when you go in and you claim it, instead of scrolling for your name, type in the first 3 letters of your name, and then your name will pop up and you can automatically click your name and then claim. It could save 5 to 8 seconds, and that could make all the difference,
So I'm just tapping on view lead.
Are you talking about like Ylopo or like a always be closing channel?
No, it's a Slack lead pond. There's like a new lead has come in, and I definitely hear the chime.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if it doesn't let you have access to the lead, then someone else already claimed it because you have to press view and then instantly add yourself as the agent.
Mm-hmm. I think I've gotten 1 out of about 50.
So Wendy, are you looking at like this channel, like for example, like this, where we do the click to claim? Is that what you're looking at?
It's even before that on my phone anyway. It just says view lead.
I think she's talking about the Ylopo priority.
She's talking about maybe down here, right?
Yeah.
Is this look familiar to you? More these ones?
No, it looks different on my phone anyway. Maybe this is the page, but
Okay.
okay.
think
Well,
she's
I think
talking about the lead pun non-referral, the lead pun non-referral channel,
got it.
where
Yeah.
it shows here view lead in CRM, where you have to be
Yeah.
very quick to click on that and go straight into the lead and assign it to yourself.
Yeah.
And
And I
just a
think-
note for everybody while we're looking at this, if you see all these thumbs up, it doesn't mean that somebody claimed it. Like they might have looked at it and said, oh, shoot, that's not in my area, so I'm not going to claim it. So still go in and take a look at it, even if you see a thumbs up there that somebody looked at it.
for me,
Jen
I
is-
also get a message that says this lead is not available. So
Yeah.
I guess that means that somebody has claimed it.
That would mean that somebody claimed it, correct?
Okay. All right. So I'll just have to
Mhm.
practice my trigger finger.
Yep.
This is
I
a
think
good
what-
question for Jen down here. What happens if I claim it really quick and realize the lead's basically out of your area? Can I release it back?
Once you click the claim lead here, you can see where the lead is, and you'll realize if it's not in your area, then don't change it to your name. Just leave it there so that other people can continue viewing it until somebody who it is in their area does see it. It doesn't actually claim it just by clicking on that. You have to actually assign it to your name.
But
What
we
other?
assign it like super quick just to claim it and then go through it and realize, oh, this is probably not the best for me.
Then in that case, you would just assign it back to me.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any
So
other
as far as
Slack
as far as
questions?
Slack,
Yeah.
yeah, like as far
You can
as
go
Slack
down
is
the lead
concerned-
rabbit hole.
I know. So as far as Slack goes, though, I'm just curious, what's like something that you learned today that you guys are like, all right, cool. Like, I didn't know that. This is going to help me a ton. Because to me, it's like if you come on these and you even get just one thing, I think, and then you go implement, awesome, right? Adding my email on Slack.
Mhm.
I
Lily
love
just added
scheduling
in there.
messages for later is really awesome.
That was a
Yeah.
good one.
Mhm.
Good. Good.
I have something to share that I learned from Rachel. And when I would message her, I would write a sentence and then hit my enter button to get to the next line. I never realized, I'm sure a lot of you do, that you
Yes.
have to hit the big A, little
Option.
a, and then you can do the enters, and then it saves that person receiving so many notifications, another message, another message. I didn't know that. I only learned that like 2 weeks ago. So that's my
Yeah.
tip, in case anyone didn't know that. And it's hard to see it on your phone because it's small.
Mhm. Yeah, there's a lot of different formatting tips at the bottom. Oh, her headphones died. I was like, I hear her tiny little voice somewhere. Oh, I can't hear you yet, Sarah. I can hear you typing.
She lost sound.
Yeah.
Take us home, Liv.
Take me home tonight. Oh, she said, take us home. I gotcha. How do we change the settings? Which settings are you talking about? Like the enter settings?
Brenda had written, you can also change a setting so that enter doesn't
Oh,
send the message.
oh, yes. Oh, sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
I
that's
can-
even better.
I'll show you guys quickly. So, I think that might be up here. So if you go up to your preferences, wow, I'm gonna mute Sierra. Oh, there she did. Okay. I think it's down. Brenda, do you remember? I feel like there's a thing that says, sometimes I just have to click through these things. I don't know if she's sidebar. Okay, sorry guys, I'm just taking you on this journey with me. What you can do is hold the shift button and click enter. That will also go down, so without sending the message prematurely. I'm not sure why. Oh, here we go. When writing a message, so under preferences, go down to advanced, and you can either have it, when you click enter, send the message right away, or if you want to start a new line, then it won't send the message. You'll have to actually hit the send arrow button for the message to go out versus it like just hitting enter. So there are a lot of different things you can do on there. Advanced. Oh yeah. Yeah, you got it, Bren. What triggers the Slack bot? There are several different things that can trigger the Slack bot. Do you have, is there a specific notification that you're getting, Jesse, that you're wondering about?
No, I just noticed that sometimes in our group messages, it will turn on, like when we mention something like manufactured homes.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So that is a setting that we have on the back end of ops. So it's called a workflow. And basically what that allows us to do is kind of like an auto response. So there's certain words that we've entered in, for example, manufactured homes. So usually for a while, we were getting the same question a lot of times about lenders for manufactured homes. So it's an automated response that's triggered on certain words. You'll also see when we have a new member who joins our team, there's an automated response that goes out that welcomes that person now that they've been accepted into our channel. So we have a few of those different Slack bots that are
I think what Liv and I are going to do too, because I want to make sure for our team here, which is primarily team, that we're meeting you guys where you are. If there are any people that have joined us on a team level that are outside of our team, we're going to go higher level at another point, and we can let you guys know when we're going to do that, to how to run this for a team. So again, most of you here are on the team, so you don't really need to be bogged down with that stuff. I just want everybody to use Slack, get the logistics, just really get organized, and make sure again that you're not going to bed every night without your Slacks organized, or else it becomes a runaway train. And I think we can all attest to that.
For
And
sure.
then you just start to kind of give up. But Liv and I are going to work on, and we'll push out higher level on how to run your team with Slack, because there's a lot of automations. I'd say we probably have about 50 apps running with Slack. There's workflows that we have built out, and we'll keep you guys posted. So if anybody on the team is curious how all this magic stuff happens, you guys are welcome to jump on, and we'll be probably dropping that in the next month or two, just to actually see how your team functions, because it's really cool as to why and what triggers stuff. But I think that's it. We're right on time. I don't want to keep you guys any later, but I'm excited to see more people using Slack. Remember, threads are our friend, because y'all are going to be on Slack so much more, but threads are our friend so that you can really keep it without blowing up everybody's notifications left and right, but still communicate. And then this is going to be on YouTube as well. We typically get it on our YouTube channel, our team YouTube channel. If you guys don't know about that, make sure you know about that, because everything goes on there. It'll be dropped on the YouTube channel within 24 to 48 hours, and you can always go back and rewatch and replay and, spend some time going a little deeper on some of the stuff that we showed.
And you can always go online too, just like search the Slack help library for really basic stuff that you want to learn. That might sound really like it's common sense, but really they do such a good job on there of explaining how to do the basic functions, and you can learn some cool stuff on there too. And always share it with us if you find anything cool.
Yeah, if you find anything new, share it with the team too, because they're always rolling out new stuff, which they are rolling out some new stuff. We won't bog you guys down, but we'll be looping back with more things.
Yeah.
Real quick, I'd like to know why Christian Bouvier has a tie on.
Booby, what's up?
Yeah, so today I had a presentation this morning at 8 for one of my business strategy classes. It was the final project, so I had to wear a tie and a suit.
Yeah, you guys, Christian's graduating from college here soon. Did you all know that? Like, congratulations.
Way to go, Christian.
I know.
Thank you. Yeah, almost done.
You're like my child that's grown up right in front of my eyes, Christian. You really are.
I know.
Has he grown up? Wait.
Well, I don't know.
He's working on it.
Yeah, exactly. But anyways, look at Rich. He's looking tiny today. He needs to hit the gym.
Tiny Rich.
Well, good, man.
All right.
And on that note,
little team bantering. Good to see everybody. All right,
Team to team.
we'll see you on Slack. We'll see you on
Happy
Slack.
Tuesday.